Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. This is the morning session, and here we are reading the Srila Prabhupada small books. So, currently, we are on the book Lord Chaitanya, his life and his teaching. This is the small book, and like we are discussing like very important topic, the discussion between Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya. So yes, like we need to go little depth. So we are covering this topics from the another book, which is in little detail. That book name is the Teachings of a Lord Chaitanya. So let's start our session with the Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात देशतारिणे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. So yes, like yesterday we discussed the chapter 27 of a book, Lord Chaitanya and the Ramananda Rai. Okay, so yes, like we seen that like when it like Ramananda Rai by birth he is low in caste, he's a lower than Brahmana, he's a Shudra, and like he is also like he has very high post in a government. So like he's a little political person and he's also the Shudra. So sannyasis generally don't meet the Shudras and like they don't meet the political person because political persons they are always engaged with their political duties and like their talks are also political. They are not interested in practice spirituality. So, Lord Chaitanya during his South India traveling, he met the Ramananda Rai, in the banks of a Godavari river, and you know he was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy. Why he was in ecstasy? Because he used to see Godavari as a Yamuna Maya, and he used to see the forest as a forest of a Vrindavana. And then he saw that like one person is coming with all the bands, musical bands, and a lot of brahmanas to meet the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you know, like sannyasis generally don't meet, but he not only meet with Ramananda Rai, but he also embraced the Ramananda Rai because both are in ecstasy. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced the Ramananda Rai? Because like even he was the Shudra and even he was a political person because he is the pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Here we can see that, like yes, he was lower than a Shudra also. He was the Shudra and also he has government post like so he also have to work but like then also how he can become a pure devotee he must follow the principle of a yukta vairagya. Okay, whatever assets you have you simply engage in a Krishna service. Okay, whatever assets I got they are given by the Krishna, so I have to utilize them in a Krishna service. I don't have to I don't have to use them for my own sense gratification. If I use them for my sense gratification I will simply fall down in a cycle of a birth and death. And in other hand, if I utilize all the assets given by Krishna in a Krishna service, then I will be liberated from this cycle of a birth and death. Okay. So in that meeting, and also they are embracing in they are fully in a transcendental ecstasy because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not is Lord Krishna. not different from the Lord Krishna. He's a Krishna himself, and Ramananda Rai is like a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. So like this natural, like when Krishna is meeting his pure devotee, then they are in a totally transcendental ecstasy. But like these Brahmins, this the society people, they start talking. Oh, like how sannyasi can embrace some one political person, and like how he sannyasis can embrace someone who is a Shudra by birth. And also like they start talking, oh, he's a great political leader. Then also when he embraced the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why tears are flowing down from his eyes. And Krishna has other expansions now in a impersonal Brahman, and second is a Paramatma. So in Paramatma is present inside our heart, and like he not only like sees all of our activities, but like he also sees our thoughts coming inside our mind. And like so he see that like, oh, these people start thinking like this inside their mind. So like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu restrained that, and by seeing the unfavorable condition, he pacified himself. So from here what we can learn, that when there is unfavorable situation to practice the bhakti, we don't have to show our bhakti. We have to keep our bhakti secretly. Even like if there are conditions like they are keep taunting you, and like you cannot apply the even tilaka. You can apply the tilak with uh, you can apply the tilak with water. And like when there is something like you cannot wear the tulsi mala, so like when we go in a ISKCON gift shop, there are like colorful beads, and in between that beads they like put some tulsi beads. So we can also take some, like we can say that, oh, this is the ornamental, this is not just kanthi mala. So like we have to trick the people, because otherwise this is the Kali Yuga, na? They don't like if we are practicing the Krishna consciousness, because they know, because why they don't agree, because they know this is the our dharma, and this is the thing, that this is the goal of our life. But I'm not able to do, or I'm not able to take Krishna conscious. How he can do? Like let me pull him down. So that's the one of the reason. When someone is getting envious of you, that means like he want that, like whatever you are doing, he want to do the same, but some of other things he is not able to do. So yes, like then they decide, okay, we will meet in the evening. And like why, like yes, Ramananda Rai is a very great devotee. And evening, like when Ramananda Rai want to inquire about how to advance in the spiritual knowledge, but Lord himself asked, the please quote some verses from the scriptures about the ultimate goal of human life. So what is the ultimate goal of human life? To get more and more material assets, to stay entangled in a sense gratification, or to take the spirituality, practice the bhakti, develop the love for Krishna, and go back to the Godhead, and go out of this cycle of sufferings. So yes, like what is the ultimate goal of human life? So like Ramananda, yes, Sarita Mataji said very nicely yesterday. This, who is this Ramananda Rai? He's the eternal associate of a Lord Krishna. He is the Arjuna. And like when they are speaking about the Bhagavad Gita, Lord continuously speak, and instructed Arjuna. So like now Krishna want, okay, Arjuna should speak and I should hear. So then their discussion started, and Sri Ramananda Raya quoted verses from the Vishnu Purana, that person who is the sincere in occupational duty will gradually develop the sense of a God consciousness. Means when you perform your prescribed duties, you will develop the love for Krishna. But then you have to follow the four classes now, Brahmana classes, and then Kshatriya, who are the administrator, like Vaishyas, who are the merchants, and the Shudras, like who render service to all three above classes. And then we also have to practice the prescribed rules and regulation. And like we have to go through the four stages of life. That's first is the brahmacharya, second is the grahastha, like householder life, then vanaprastha, and then sannyasa. But like Lord Chaitanya reject this. Why Lord Chaitanya reject this? That okay, you are following rules and regulation, you are doing the prescribed duties, but you are not doing it for Krishna. You are simply doing it mechanically. You are simply doing the rituals. So similarly, when we chant, okay, Srila Prabhupada, our teachers, like, all time they say, you have to chant 16 rounds, you have to follow the four regulative principles. But like we are doing it as a ritual because someone has told us. So like inside, we don't have feeling. We are simply doing externally. Okay, we are attending Mangalarti because someone has told us to attend Mangalarti. We don't have a love. Oh, like today, like it is always good now to start our day with a taking the Mangalarti darshan, because at that time deities are very merciful. And like yes, I have to chant the 16 rounds because I have to purify my heart. Like when my heart will be purified, I can talk with the Krishna personally, and like Krishna can give instructions to me. And like when I chant the holy name, I can be get liberated from this cycle of birth and death. And it will open me the chance to serve the Supreme Lord. And like when I chant the holy name, I'm like Krishna personally come, and like that is our personal meeting. Like I'm connecting with the Krishna. You don't have this internal feelings, and you are not doing the chanting in a prayerful mood, then like what is use of chanting? You are simply doing it mechanically. Of course there will be some good effects, like some pious balance will be increased, but what is that? Like what is the use? Because you are not achieving the ultimate goal. Like whatever rituals, whatever prescribed duties you are doing, like if they are not if they are not going to develop the love for Krishna, then they are not okay. The Lord Chaitanya, Lord Vishnu is not just pleased by like when you follow the rituals, but you don't have the love. Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, they they become pleased when you have the pure devotional service, like when you develop the love for Krishna. So then only they please. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reject the idea of this, like if you follow the prescribed duties and if you follow the rules and regulation of a varnashrama dharma, then you will develop the love for Krishna. No, like because these rituals are external, like, and bhakti is something not external. It's not like you apply the tilak, you wear the dhoti, or you wear the sari, and like you wear the kantimala, you become devotee. No, it is from inside. Okay, whatever activities I'm doing, I'm living for I'm living so that I can render the service to Lord Krishna. Like internally, bhakti is about internally. We can also see in the Bhagavad Gita, na? Yes, Arjuna, in starting also Arjuna is fighting. After teaching him a Bhagavad Gita, then also he is fighting. The change is where is the change? The change is from inside. Firstly, he don't want to fight because he was the compassionate, and he has the bodily concepts of life. But after hearing the Bhagavad Gita knowledge, his intention changed. There is internal change that, okay, like I don't have to gratify my senses, but I have to fight for whom? I have to fight for a Lord Krishna. So, yes, we have to live, we have to do all the activities, but for whom? We have to do activities for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. So now we can move to the our next chapter, the chapter 28, the relationship with the Supreme. Hare Krishna. You may think now like Mataji is coming again and again, like, and she is simply like taking the 15 to 20 minutes revising previous class, because it's not about just going chapter by chapter like further, but we also have to our memory should be clear. Okay, we should be revise the previous chapters also, and like the things should be stay in our memory. It's not we are reading and then forgetting everything. Things should stay with you. Okay. So Hare Krishna, who wants to read? They can raise their hands.
Hare
I
Krishna
want someone who
Mataji.
can speak a little faster, na, so that we can cover the reading faster.
Can I start, Mataji?
Okay. I
Hare
think we should
Krishna.
give the chance to Vinod Prabhu first, and then you can start. Okay, Vinod Prabhu, you can
Okay.
start with the 1 or 2 paragraphs. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Relationship with the Supreme. Chapter 28. Lord Chaitanya rejected the statement cited by Ramananda Rai from the Vishnu Purana because the Lord wished to reject a class of philosophers known as Mimamsa, the followers of Karma Mimamsa. Philosophy teach that God is subject to one's work. Their condition is that if one works nicely, God is bound to give good results. Thus, from the statement of the Vishnu Purana, cited by Ramananda Rai, one might conclude that Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, has no independence but is bound to award a certain kind of result to the worker. Such a dependent God becomes subject to the worshipper, who accepts the Supreme Lord as both impersonal and personal, as he wishes actually. The karma Mimamsa philosophy stresses the impersonal feature of the supreme absolute truth because Lord Chaitanya did not like such impersonalism, he rejects it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So yes, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected this like this shloka from the Vishnu Puran because yes, they are like simply by following the rules and regulation, they are all are externally doing, and like they don't develop the love for Krishna. And you know, like what is the conclusion of their dharma? They are philosophers like and Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna reject this class of philosopher known as a karma mimasa, like what they do, like they follow the these followers of a karma mimasa accept the Lord to be subject to one's work. Okay, like their conclusion is that if I work hard, if I work nicely, then God will give the good results. No, but this is not the truth now. Like this good results depends on our own past activities, and like also depends on Krishna's desire. Okay, if I work hard, but if a Krishna doesn't doesn't permit that thing, doesn't approve that things, so that I won't get like a desirable results. No, it's all the Krishna is independent of us now, like independence of our efforts. Like it is Krishna is not bound by our efforts. Krishna is a person, but these people think that Krishna is they stress on the impersonal feature of Supreme Lord. If I work hard, the Krishna must give me the results. No, Krishna is independent. If he want to give the results, he will give the results. And if you don't want to give the results, who are we to ask the question to Supreme Lord why you are not giving the results? So like even some people do not, but these are out of ignorance. So Krishna is not bound by our efforts, and like whatever he wants to give the results, they are independent from our efforts. Hare Krishna, Snigdha Mataji, you can start with it.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Tell me if you know something beyond this conception of the supreme absolute truth, Lord Chaitanya said. Ramananda Raya understood the purpose of Lord Chaitanya and asked, and after starting that, it is better to give Krishna the results of fruitive activities. He quoted a verse from the Bhagavad Gita 9.27. Yat karosi yad asanasi, yaj juhosi dadasi yat tapayasi kaunteya tat kurusva mad aparpanam. O son of Kunti, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, whatever you give away, and whatever austerity you undergo to achieve some goal, everything should be dedicated to my service. There is a similar passage in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.36, which states that one should submit everything, all the results of the fruitive activities one performs with body, speech, mind, senses, intelligence, soul, and modes of nature to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Lord Chaitanya, however, also rejected this second statement, saying, if you know of something higher, state it. Offering everything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as enjoined by the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is better than impersonally making the Supreme Lord subject to our work, but it is still short of surrendering to the Supreme Lord. A worker's identification with material existence cannot be changed without proper guidance. Such fruitive activity will continue one's material existence. A worker is simply instructed here to offer the results of his work to the Supreme Lord, but there is no information given to enable one to get out of the material entanglement. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya rejected his proposal.
Okay. So
Hare
first
Krishna.
proposal was that from the Vishnu Puran that okay, simply by following rules and regulation, you will develop the love for the Lord. But like in this also, like there it's not going to change our material conception. Na? Like we will think, okay, like if I follow, then like things will be go on. And then second, he give that like from the Bhagavad Gita 9.27, like whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, like as well as austerities you perform, you should give everything to me. you should give everything to me, you should offer everything to me. And even the similar shloka is found in a Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, second chapter, 36 shloka. Like one should submit everything, his fruitive activities, body, speech, mind, senses, intelligence, soul, and modes of nature. So, but like Lord Chaitanya also reject this. Why he reject that? Okay, it's simply na even some people do they like to eat the non-veg or they like to eat onion and garlic. So they prepare the bhoga with that items. They simply offer to Krishna and then they will take it. But is it right? Is it right to offer Krishna wine and non-vegetarian things and containing onion and garlic and like too much salty, too much spicy, and like too much sweet? Is it right? Too much hot items can we offer to Krishna? No, we cannot offer. So because here their material concept of life is not going to change. Okay, if I want to eat pizza, I can make the pizza and offer to Krishna. But is this right? We are we are offering for whom? Like we are offering for ourselves because I have the sense gratification to eat the pizza. But like out of formality, okay, Krishna said that if you offer me something, I will take away the sins and then you can have it. So we are not doing it out of love, but we are doing it out of some fear or out of some formality. So if we do keep doing this, our material concept of life is not going to change. We are not going to develop love for Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya also reject this. Okay. Hare Krishna. Snigdha Mataji can continue.
Right, Mataji. After having his suggestions rejected twice, Ramananda proposed that one should forsake his occupational activities altogether and by such detachment rise to the transcendental plane. In other words, he recommended complete renunciation of worldly life. To support this proposal, he cited evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.11.32, wherein the Lord says, "In the scriptures, I have described the ritualistic principles and the way one can become situated in devotional service by giving them up. That is the highest perfection of religion." Ramananda also quoted Lord Krishna's similar statement in the Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sarvasra smaranam braja aham tam aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma sucha. Give up all kinds of religiousness and just surrender unto me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I shall protect you from all sinful reactions, and you will have nothing to be aggrieved over. Lord Chaitanya also rejected this third proposal from Ramananda Raya, for he wanted to demonstrate that renunciation in itself is not sufficient. There must be positive engagement. Without positive engagement, the highest perfectional stage cannot be attained. Generally, there are two kinds of philosophers in the renounced order of life. The goal of one is nirvana, and the goal of the other is the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Such philosophers cannot imagine that they can reach beyond nirvana and the Brahman effulgence to the Vaikuntha planets of the spiritual sky, because in simple renunciation there is no conception of spiritual planets and spiritual activities. Lord Chaitanya rejected this third proposal. Ramananda
Hare
Raya
Krishna
then,
Mataji.
right,
Just a minute, 5 minutes, Mataji. Okay. So first proposal was that from the Vishnu Puran, uh, if you follow if you do the prescribed duties, then you will develop the love for Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya rejected this because if you simply externally doing the rituals, then still there will be material concept of life, and you are not going to develop love for Krishna. And second, he said that then you should give up the fruitive activities. Then no, the second was that whatever activities you do, if you simply offer to Lord Krishna, like then you will develop the love for Krishna. But this is not, then Lord Chaitanya also rejected this. Why? Because why he rejected? Because okay, if even you are offering everything, you are offering all the results to Lord Krishna, then also it's not going to change your material concept of life. Then he said that then you should give up all of these prescribed duties and you should give up all the ritualistic systems. And he also quoted from the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 11th chapter 32 shloka, and also quoted from the Bhagavad Gita Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mamekam Sharnavraja from Bhagavad Gita 18.66. So like you have to give up all the religion, you simply have to surrender. But Lord Chaitanya, this is the third, he also reject this third proposal. Why he rejected? Because like simply giving up everything, simply taking the renunciation is not good. You should you must have the positive engagement. So like people who want to take the sannyasa, no, like you like simply out of frustration you cannot take the sannyasa. Simply developing the detachment from the persons and the wealth and all of these things, you cannot take the sannyasa unless you are attached to do a loving devotional service of Lord Krishna. So yes, like you simply renunciation is not good. You must have a highest some other positive engagement, and then only we can attain the highest perfectional stage to loving Krishna. And like they are like even the like philosopher, they take the renunciation, they have some desires like I have to attain the stage of a nirvana, and like I have to emerge in a like impersonal Brahman. But they don't know like beyond the beyond this nirvana and Brahman effulgence, there are Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky where they can render the loving devotional service and enjoy the mellows with Lord Krishna. So Hare Krishna, Harshita Mataji, can you read Ramananda Rai 10? Hare Krishna, Harshita Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. I'm reading. One second, Mataji. Ramanand Rai then cited more evidence from the Bhagavad Gita 18.54. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nasochati na Kankshati Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labhate Param. When by cultivation of knowledge a person realizes himself to be non-different from the supreme absolute truth, he becomes joyful and is freed from all kinds of lamentation and material desires. At that time, he perfects his Brahma realization by seeing everyone on the same spiritual level. Such Brahm realization can elevate one to the transcendental stage of devotional service. Ramananda Rai first suggested devotional service with renunciation of the fruits of one's work. But here he suggests that devotional service with full knowledge and spiritual realization is superior. I have to read further as well, Mataji. Yeah. Lord Chaitanya, however, also rejected this proposal because simply by renouncing material results in Brahma realization, one does not realize the spiritual world and spiritual activities. Although there is no material contamination when one attains the stage of Brahma realization, in that stage, one is still not perfectly pure because there is no positive engagement in spiritual activity. Because it is still on the mental plane, it is external. The pure living entity is not liberated unless he is completely engaged in spiritual activity. As long as one is absorbed in impersonal thoughts or in thoughts of the void, one's entrance into an eternal blissful life of knowledge is. Mataji, can you scroll down? Yeah, is not complete. When spiritual knowledge is not complete, one will be hindered in his attempt to cleanse the mind of all material variegatedness. Thus, impersonalists are frustrated in their attempts to make the mind void by artificial meditation. It is very difficult to void the mind of all material conceptions. In the Bhagavad Gita 12.5, it is stated that those who indulge in such impersonal meditation find it very difficult to make spiritual advancement. In addition, whatever state they do attain is not complete liberation. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya rejected it.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So yes, then Ramananda I said that yes, then we should develop the Brahmin realization. But Lord Chaitanya also reject this Brahmin realization because like okay, you can this is good. Okay, you can have the Brahmin realization, but they don't have the idea of the spiritual world and spiritual activities. Okay, they don't have the idea beyond this Brahmin, there are the spiritual planets, and in that planet we can stay with the Lord Krishna, we can play with the Lord Krishna, we can exchange the loving mellows with the Lord Krishna. They don't have the active don't have this knowledge. So their spiritual knowledge is not perfect, and that's why Lord Krishna rejected this. And yeah, and like they try to they become frustrated, and like they try to make them this material mind mind void, but it is not possible to make your mind void. And like people try to like even like they say na, like you have to train your mind it is in a such a way that there will be no thoughts, but this is not possible. It is a nature of mind to have a to have the thinking, feeling, and like feeling. It is a nature of a mind that like something should be there, something should be there inside the mind. So like they artificially try to make their mind void, so there will be no thoughts, but this is not possible, because it's the nature of mind that like it will have a lot of thoughts. But what we can do, like whatever material concepts we have to exchange the same with the spiritual things. Like when our minds roam somewhere, like by chanting the holy name we can pull back the mind. And like when we do abhyasa of this, then it will become the easy. So from tomorrow we will cover this. Like now we can jump on the Mukundmala Stotra. Okay, so Hare Krishna. Yeah, enable to share. And Mukundmala Stotra is also very good, na? Like various questions of ours get clear, and it is a full of nectar. So till now we have seen that like we have to think about what Krishna will think, not what people will think about me. And then we see like we have to engage our all the senses in Krishna's service. Like from the eyes we have to meditate upon Lord Krishna, and if someone is having the lusty desire, simply by meditating upon the beautiful form of a Lord Krishna, like this lusty desires can be like Krishna will take care of these lusty desires. And we also see that like one statement from the Yamunacharya, like from when I started like engaging my mind in Krishna's loving service, like when there is a thought in my mind about the sex, I split. And so yes, like by simply meditating upon the Lord Krishna, we can become the free from all of these things. And anyone remember what is the beauty treatment for the Lord Krishna's devotee?
Pleasing
What is the
Krishna.
Devotional
beauty
service.
treatment?
Pleasing Krishna.
Engaging the senses in the service of Lord.
Yes, that we have to take the dust of lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and it means that we have to take the dust of lotus feet of pure devotees of Lord Krishna. And what is meant by taking dust of lotus feet of pure devotees? That we have to
Following
follow the
instructions.
instructions. Yes, we have to follow the instructions. So this is the beauty treatment. If you like firmly follow the firmly follow the instructions, and like you are very sincerely practicing like following four regulative principles, like chanting 16 rounds without offenses and with a full attentiveness, then like when you hear harikatha, when you read the Srila Prabhupada books, then then you will develop the enthusiasm. That's the like people will like devotees will come and say now, oh Mataji, like one day we do Mangalarti, one day we do do all the devotional activities with a lot of enthusiasm, and like after 2 to 3 days we feel that slack, we don't want to do. This is because like somewhere we are lacking in following four regulative principles, and we have to do it regular basis. Every day we have to chant, every day we have to read, every day we have to hear, and like every day we have to follow the four regulative principles. And like after some years, like then then like you automatically start developing the enthusiasm. It is not the one day practice, na? Like you have to practice it daily, and like you have to build the consistency. So yes, like then we also see that like we have to give up the association of the non-devotees, because like in association, like we develop we are tend to get their desires, and like we tend to get their habits. So like if we associate too much with the material people, we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start having the material desires, and like we will start hav we are suffering from material condition. We are having the typhoid of this material condition. And if we and this, we are not very convenient. And but simply, simply by hearing, simply by chanting, when you keep doing this, like it will act like a medicine, and our disease get cured, and our disease get cured. We will start tasting the sweet taste and the nectar of a holy name and Harikatha. This is the
Voice
sign
is
of a
breaking.
Voice is breaking.
Hare Krishna Mata is still is speaking, Mata.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You ask others.
Actually,
Is it my
Mataji, it's
Mataji,
rain.
voice is breaking.
Okay. Outside. And my Wi-Fi connection has been gone. Hare Krishna Mataji, now it's clear?
Yeah, better. Yes.
Okay. So then also we learned that more we chant the holy names of Lord Krishna, more we hear the Harikatha, then we will develop the attachment for the Lord Krishna. And we don't have to hear from whimsically from anyone on the social media on other platforms, but we have to hear from the authoritative devotees, and it is best to hear from the uh, devotees who are from our sampradaya, not to mix more than one or two sampradaya. Like it will dilute the process, and it will take a more lives to go back to the. And yes, here Srila Rupa Goswami is saying what is the treasure of his life? That is holy name is the treasure of his life. And but like when we ask ourselves what is the treasure of your life, then we may say that my child, my husband, or my parents, or my wealth, or my job and my position. But these are not actually wealth. This going to destroy with this body. And our real wealth is engaging ourselves in Krishna's service, and our real wealth is that where we develop the love for Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Sharmila Mataji can start
Hare
reading.
Krishna. Oh, Hare
Krishna Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Translation. At every moment, I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayana. I perform worship to Narayana. I recite the pure name of Narayana. And I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayana. Purport. One may wonder, is this an exaggeration or perhaps an expression of wishful thinking? The answer is no. This verse describes the practical experience of King Kulashekara, a pure devotee. Moreover, such absorption in various services to the Lord is possible not only for King Kulashekara, but for all sincere devotees. Such 24-hour engagement in the Lord's service is rarely possible at once. But we can take encouragement from Lord Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita 12.9. If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop the desire to attain to me. King Kulashekara first states, Namani, I offer obeisances. This refers to bowing down to the Lord physically and mentally, thus praying to Him with one's whole being to be placed, as Lord Chaitanya said, as an atom at his lotus feet. We offer obeisances because we recognize the inconceivable greatness of the Supreme Lord, and we beg for awareness of our own tininess and dependence on Him. In addition to following the regulative principles of devotional service, we should take time regularly to go beyond the mechanical activity of religious duties, beyond all the relative roles we may play with our family and in our religious institution, and to try to recall that we are actually eternal servants of the Supreme Lord and of all living beings. The preacher of Krishna consciousness should offer mental obeisances to the recipients of his message. Lord Chaitanya advised his followers, Yare deka tare kaha Krishna upadesha. Impart Krishna's teachings to whomever you meet. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 7.128. By carrying out this order, we offer humble obeisances to the Lord within all living entities. King Kulashekara says that he recites the name of Narayana at every moment. Srila Prabhupada advised his followers to do the same. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we are teaching our followers to chant the Hare Krishna mantra continuously on beads. Even those who are not accustomed to this practice are advised to chant at least 16 rounds on beads so they may be trained. Sada means always. Haridasa Thakura says Nirantara Nama, love. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra without stopping. Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 3.139 purport. To chant all the time, one has to follow the Lord Chaitanya's advice to think oneself lower than the straw in the street and offer all respects to others. In this way, one combines reciting the Lord's names and offering obeisances. A person who does not offer respects to God and all God's creatures, who is proud of his material acquisitions, cannot call upon the Lord sincerely. Even if he does occasionally chant the Lord's name, he does so with complacency. A devotee who realizes his actual situation of dependence on Krishna calls on the name of the Lord the way a child calls upon his mother. And as stated in previous verses, such a chanter tastes unprecedented nectar in the holy name. King Kulashekara also reflects on the infallible truth of Narayana. The conclusion, Siddhanta, concerning the science of Supreme Personality of Godhead is received from the scriptures, from the Guru, and from authorized sadhus. One should regularly read and hear the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and similar Vaishnava works. And one should also hear realized devotees explain them. One who does so will eventually be able to see all events in the Krishna conscious way. This is known as Shastra Chakshur, seeing the world with a vision gained through scriptural knowledge. And so King Kulishekara has offered four activities that should consume all our time without distraction: offering obeisance to the Lord, worshipping Him, chanting His holy names, and thinking of the conclusive truths concerning Him. These practices are included in the ninefold process of devotional service. Prahlad Maharaja describes in the seventh canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. So whether one performs the activities King Kulashekara mentions here or adds the ones Prahlada Maharaja recommends, praying, worshipping the deity, becoming the Lord's friend, and so on, one can move from one activity to another, from one thought to another, and yet stay within the internal spiritual energy of Lord Narayana. Such a fully Krishna conscious devotee will transfer at the time of death to the spiritual world, where he will render further services in the blissful company of the Lord and his intimate associates. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So yes, like what like Kulshekara is praying at every moment, I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayana. I perform the worship to the Narayana. I recite the pure name of a Narayana, and I reflect on the infallible truth of the Narayana. So yes, like in a Bhagavad Gita also, like Krishna says, Satatam Kirta Yantoma, and like in two slokas he says, Jamanmana Bhava Madbhakto. Like we have to constantly think and constantly remember the Lord Krishna. But how is this possible? Like our mind is like still running to the material things. Like we have to pull the mind from the material things, and we have to engage our mind in the spiritual things. We simply have to like we cannot stop the thinking, but we can change the like the what we are thinking from the material thing. We can transform our mind to think about the spiritual things, and like this will happen by association. When you read the Srila Prabhupada books, when you take associate with the senior devotees, when you hear the Hari Katha, even like when you watch the lectures on the YouTube about speaking by the senior devotees, it means we are associating with the senior devotees. Like when we are chanting, it means we are associating with the Lord Krishna. So simply we have to engage our senses in a Krishna's service, in a service of a Krishna's name, in a service of the Srila Prabhupada by reading his book. So this is the simple practice that we have to do the things, and we have to do the abhyasa. Like repeatedly, we have to do this. Then after some time, like when we become purified, then we were able to remember Lord Krishna. And yes, like what the message told by the Lord Chaitanya is that Yare Dekho Tare Kaha Krishna Upesh. To whomever we meet, we have to follow, like we have to preach them. And but like you will find it contradictory to the ninth offense of the holy name, that uh, telling the glorification of holy name to someone person who is not interested. So we can say, like when we start preaching and they like and we are not that much capable that we can convince them by giving the explanation from the shastras and quoting the shlokas from the shastras, and simply without when it comes to accepting, but they are try to argue with them because they don't believe in such things. Then to such persons we don't have to preach, but there will be some innocent people but they get misled, and they get misguided by other peoples, they're simply trying to worship themselves and worship God for some self-interest. So for such innocent people, we can preach the message of Lord Chaitanya. We can give them the holy names. We can give them the Bhagavad Gita, and we can introduce them to the science of Krishna. So this is the thing that pre-reaching is very important. Doing the book distribution is also very important. And yes, we have to chant the holy name constantly. It is not if I finish the 16 rounds, then all is over. No, every moment you have to chant the holy name. That Sada means always. But this will come by the practice. If you engage yourself in Krishna conscious activities, then this will automatically happen. But then we have to follow the 4 regulative principles, and at least we have to chant the 16 rounds, because we are training our mind that okay, we have to chant the holy name and we have to focus on that. And this is the principal line. We suggest that wherever you get the time, take out your finger digit and chant on your finger digits, even it is a 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes. In this way, we are training our mind. Whenever we get the time, we have to chant the holy name, or whenever we get the time, we have to read the small book. Even if we are reading the one line, that is also good. So you should keep the small book in your purse, or in your bag, even in your car when you are traveling. And when you stuck in a travel, even for the 2 to 3 minutes and or 5 minutes, then you can simply take out the book and you can start reading even the one paragraph also. So we have to engage ourselves. We have to find the time. And when we are chanting, it should be like a child call his mother in helpless condition. It should not be just a mechanical. We should pray very hard. Oh Krishna, I fall in this material ocean. Can you please pick me up? Can you please purify me? Purify me? Can you please accept me? And can you please engage me in your loving service? So we have to pray, and we have to pray as a child call his mother. And you know how we have to remember Lord Krishna. Okay, we have to do all the material things because they are our prescribed duties, and we should do them. But at the same time, we have to remember the Krishna. And the analogy is given by our acharyas that if a girl has his lover, but his father marry her to someone else, then he perform all the household stuff very nicely. She take the care of all person very nicely. But when she was cooking, or she was taking care of family members, inside her heart she is thinking about her lover. So similarly, we have to do all our external duties, all our material duties, but inside our heart, we should constantly remember Lord Krishna. Okay, this duty is given by Lord Krishna, so I have to fulfill it nicely. Okay, whatever activities I am doing for Krishna's pleasure. I'm not doing for my manager or my boss pleasure. So we should have this kind of feeling. We should as we see now, there should be change should be internal, not external. Simply applying the kanthi, applying the tilak, wearing the kanthi, or wearing some traditional dresses, we are not going to become a devotee. To become a devotee, our heart should be changed. Change should be internal, not external. Lord Chaitanya, Lord Vishnu also reject these external things, na? So yes, so change should be internal. And so okay, constantly how we can remember Krishna? By offering the obeisances to the Lord, by worshipping the Lord, and by chanting his holy name, and thinking the conclusive truth about concerning him. So we have to, when we have the free time, we don't have to overthink, or think anything nonsense which is not useful to us. But we can think, okay, in morning I attend a like I attend the book reading class. After that, I attend the Bhagavatam class, and I also read a few books of Srila Prabhupada. What Srila Prabhupada want to instruct me, and what I today, what I learned, what I learned from all of reading and all of attending classes. So we have to meditate on these things, and we have to contemplate all of these things. Like when cows eat something, they ruminate, they bring the food back and then again chew it. So like, what we are chewing, we are chewing again and again this sense gratificatory things, and again the chewing the same things like birth, old age, disease. We are achieving the same suffering, but we don't have to achieve all the sense gratification and all the suffering, but we have to achieve the, like, whatever Krishna conscious knowledge we are getting. We have to ruminate, okay, whatever we learn in the classes, whatever we hear in the classes, whatever we read in the books, we have to ruminate over that. Okay, Prabhupada said that we have to follow the four regulative principles. Prabhupada said that like we constantly remember Krishna. So like we have to ruminate on these things, like we have to like contemplate on these things, and then only we can advance spiritually. And like we don't have to do everything externally, but like our heart should be there. Okay, so like yes, simply by engaging our senses and like developing love for Krishna, we can like go to the spiritual planet, and there we can enjoy the blissful company with the Lord, and we can become his intimate associates. Hare Krishna. Muttamanikam Prabhu, you can read.
Hare
So
Krishna
we are
Mataji.
on 28 and 29 shloka.
Translation. Oh, Srinatha, Narayana, Vasudeva, Divine Krishna, oh kind friend of your devotees. Oh, Chakrabani, Padmanabha, Achyuta, Kaitabari, Rama, Padmaksha, Hari, Murari, oh Ananda, Vaigunda, Mugunda, Krishna, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. Although all people can address you, still they remain silent. Just to see how eager they are for their own peril. Purport, Srila Bhakti, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests innumerable, inconceivable qualities, and to remember and glorify these qualities, his devotees address him by innumerable names. The names themselves are fully invested with the power of the Lord, as Lord Chaitanya states in his Shikshastaka, Nama Nam Ahari Bahuda Nija Sarva Saktis Tatrabhida Nyamita Smarane Na Kalaha. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your holy name there is all good fortune for the living entity, and therefore you have many names such as Krishna and Govinda, by which you expand yourself. You have invested all your potencies in those names, and there are no hard and fast rules for chanting them. Sri Yamunacharya, you appeared in the same Sampradaya as King Kulasera, composed a verse lamenting that they, although the Lord is fully accessible by his many names and qualities, the non-devotees do not approach him, and thus they bring about their own destruction. In Bhagavad Gita 7.15, Lord Krishna summarizes the types of persons who do not surrender to him. Namam duskirtano mudaha prabhaddanyante naradamaha maya Mayaya Prata, Jnana Asuram Bhavam Astritaha. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are the lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demands, do not surrender to me. As this divine grace, Srila Prabhupada traveled worldwide spreading the Krishna conscious movement, he noted that the most people could not understand the simplest rudiments of transcendental knowledge. A first lesson of spiritual knowledge is that the self is not the body but rather the soul, and that therefore the soul is the truly important thing. But in Western countries, even among the scholarly elite, people do not understand the nature of the soul, and therefore they fail to understand the real mission of human life, understanding God. One who cannot understand the soul cannot understand God, for the soul is a minute particle of God, and failing to understand the particle, one fails to understand the whole. Instead of even trying to understand the spirit soul, most people ignore it, or even worse, deny its existence entirely, and godless scientists encourage the people in their ignorance by propounding the theory that life arises from matter. Srila Prabhupada describes described this aesthetic theory and exposed the fact that it could not be proved. Thus, he said that civilized countries, especially in the West, were living in a fool's paradise. King Kulasekara notes that we ignore God and his many names and activities at our peril. This peril is not only individual but collective. Materialists try to live in a technological paradise, but the paradise is lost. Then war breaks out or other calamities strike. Although Srila Prabhupada noted that fools become angry when called fools, he never hesitated to bodily criticize the foolish materialists in his books and lectures, but he did not simply criticize. He offers the teachings and the examples that can bring relief to the whole world. He taught the members of this International Society for Krishna Consciousness to live in a way that leaves ample time for spiritual advancement. The society is meant to be an example for the whole world. A community whose members have reduced their problems and are simply interested living a God-centered life. Though the four kinds of unsurrendered person Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita are not interested in surrendering to him, the devotees continue their efforts, satisfied to set the example their spiritual master has requested and to help conditioned souls wherever possible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So yes, how beautiful these slokas are, na? He's calling a different name of Lord Krishna. O Srinatha, O Narayana, O Vasudeva, O divine Krishna, O kind friend of your devotees, O Chakrapani, O Padmanabha, Achyuta, Kaitabhari, Rama, uh, Padma Maksha, Hari, Murari, O Ananta, O Vaikunthanatha, Mukunda, Krishna, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, although all the people can address you, still they remain silent, just to see how eager they are for their own peril. Anyone know what is meant by what is the meaning of this peril word? Because I'm not aware. So yes, can someone search what is meant by peril? So we will discuss more about this. Okay. So yes, we have the opportunity to call out the Krishna, but we are still remaining silent. And yes, there is the shloka in Shishta Ashtakam, second shloka. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shakti satra prita niyamita smarena kalo ekadashi tava kupa bhagavan mamapi. So yes, in this holy name, Krishna has put all the potencies of Lord Krishna, and like Krishna is the absolute. So there is no difference between his name, his form, his leelas, his pastimes, even the paraphernalia. So like when we are calling out a Krishna with a name, like Krishna is coming in a form of a sound vibration. And like we are connecting with the Lord Krishna, but we are not seeing the reciprocation because our senses are not purified. When our senses become purified, we can see, we can feel and we can see the Lord Krishna, and we can see his reciprocation. So yes, he come in a form of a holy name. He come in a form of a Hari Katha, but we are ignorant people are not taking benefit of it. And like it is very simple to chant the holy name. It is very simple to remember, to hear the Hari Katha. But like people are thinking, like they can believe in something by doing the yoga practices. If you tell them on the Purnima night you have to take this flower and this leaves, and then you have to sit very silent silently, and then you have to chant this mantra, and then they will listen. But if you simply told them to, if you can go back to the Godhead simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, they will think, oh, this is very simple, this is not going to work, and so they take it very cheaply. But it is not cheap. Like they don't know the importance of the chanting holy name. So yes, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, shloka 15, like there are four kinds of people. They don't surrender to Lord Krishna. They simply one who are grossly foolish. They don't believe in the God and all. The second, they are someone who is the lowest in the mankind, and like and third is his knowledge is stolen by illusion. They simply think themselves as a body, and like their goal is only to maintain the body and enjoy the senses, but they don't know what is the real goal of human life. And someone who are atheistic in a nature, they are a demonic. So these people don't take the shelter of a Lord Krishna. And even the Srila Prabhupada is saying here, fools don't like when we call them fools. And like instead of teaching something to the fools, it is better to not to waste our time, because like when we try to teach the fools, like it will simply simply disturb our own mental peace. And they are at least when they are fools, they are not going to understand it. Okay. So yes, so like we shouldn't ignore the Krishna's name. We shouldn't ignore the Harikatha. We shouldn't ignore the Srila Prabhupada books, because every knowledge, like okay, we have to chant the holy names, but like that determination and the glorification of holy name, and why we should take the holy name. All of these things will come when we hear the Harikatha, like when we read the Srila Prabhupada books. So it is very important to follow the four regulative principles, chant the 16 rounds, attend a Bhagavatam class, or even you can watch on YouTube. Like if you don't have time, like when you are taking your lunch or dinner, that time you can hear the classes in the background. And like you have to read the Srila Prabhupada books. Nama Prabhuji said at least for 1 hour you should read the books. And like we said, oh, we don't have time, but it is not going to be like that. It will be not too easy. We have to take out the time. Like we have to take out 10 minutes or 15 minutes breaks, and like we have to engage that time in Krishna's service by reading Srila Prabhupada books, and it will bring us the purification. So yes, yes, the process is very simple. Like we have to chant the holy name, we have to Harikatha. But yes, it is simple. That's why we think it's cheap. But it contains all the potencies of a Lord Krishna. Simply by hearing and chanting the holy name, we can go back to the Godhead. So please don't take it as a very casually. We have to practice very sincerely, and there should be our dedicatedly we should do our sadhana. It is our daily medicine, it is our daily dose. If we take the daily dose, then when our treatment will be completed, and also treatment depend on severity of the disease na. We are in a disease condition, in the material conception of life, in a crores of life. So it will take a long time to purify ourselves and get cure from this material conception of life. But patiently, daily, we have to take the medicine in a form of a sadhana. So, Hare Krishna, today we can end here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone find the meaning of a peril word?
Great danger.
Otherwise,
Great
a
danger.
great danger. Okay, so just see how eager they are for their own peril. So yes, when we don't chant the holy name, and when we have the opportunity to chant the holy name and call out the Krishna through his name, because his names are full of potency, and they are not different from Lord Krishna. But we are not addressing Lord Krishna through his names, and when we have the time, we are not taking his name. That it means we are putting ourselves in a great danger. Great danger of what? Like a great danger of a repetitive cycle of birth and death, and a great danger of the suffering. So yes, we have to putting ourselves in a great danger of a repetitive cycle of birth and death, and suffer this threefold miseries, and suffer a lot of things. It's better to take the holy name and call out the Krishna from his name. So Hare Krishna, happy Krishna conscious day.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.